at the hip hop school, past and present.
In my city, we received like one of the first migrations of the Crips and Bloods, in like the late 80s, mid to late 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you feel about LA Bloods and Crips that spread out throughout the world? Used to be just the country, but now the world. How you feel about that, man? How you see that?
I mean, well, the main reason, they made that spread because it was all about that paper, right? Once we found out, how effective that cocaine, that crack game was, man, we figured out, to go on and try to spread out and make that happen. So that's really how it happened. It never was let's just go turn some guys into some Crips in a whole nother state. That wasn't their intention. So yeah, but that's how it started, man. And it just got crazy after that. It got real crazy, man.
Hey, speaking of, the gang politics and everything like that, I know you done worked with both sides, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
all sides.
Yes, sir.
So has it got tricky for you, or is it tricky? You know what I'm saying? Working with all sides as far as the gang politics in LA, Compton, Long Beach, all that shit?
Nah, man. You know what? Because here's the thing, man. Before gangbanging kind of really got into the music game out here, man, it was just about the music, right? You didn't really care, man. You didn't care, if a cat was a Blood or a Crip or whatever. If he made good music, you rocked with him. So I'm from that era, man. I didn't really trip off none of that, you know what I'm saying? And even with the DJ Quik and MC8 beef, you know what I'm saying? I had a hand in that, you know what I'm saying? As far as trying to get them to squash all that, you feel me? I always valued it, man. I really didn't really treat, unless you was kind of a disrespectful cat, then we would have problems. But if you wasn't, and you was just on your music, man, you can't help where your mama bought her house or where she could afford to stay. So I was never mad at that.
Hey, speaking of, because you just brought up DJ Quik, and I was watching one of your interviews, man. I never knew that you also produced on that Mossberg record. And you actually brought out Mossberg. I always thought that was DJ Quik. I think most people thought that was DJ Quik. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most people. That actually, Mossberg, man, recipes. That was my artist. That was my artist. Right. And I turned him on. Well, actually, what happened was he was Tony Lane, my big bro Tony Lane's artist, and before he wanted to introduce him to Quik, he was so raw. Mossberg was so raw, man. Like, he was just one of them dudes that just wanted to rap. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know how to write verses as far as 16-bar verse. He didn't know how to do. He just rapped. He was a cold ass rapper. So, Tone turned me on to him, man. And me and Mossberg worked together for about a year before I said it was okay for him to introduce him to DJ Quik, man. And once them dudes got together, though, Mossberg was ready. And the rest is history, man.
Damn. R.I.P. Mossberg. Yeah, that was some legendary shit, though. You know what I'm saying? He was only here for a minute, but that whole album, that Connected project with Sugar Free. Go ahead and speak on working with Sugar Free, because that's one of my favorite rappers too, man. I know he's a character and everything, man. So how is it working with Sugar Free?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that either. Me, outside of same thing with Mossberg, I did with Sugar Free. Like the first, not the first album, but the next two albums. Me and Quik produced those half and half.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Free a character, man. Free a good ass dude. But he's really he's a character, man. That dude, sometimes I used to hate having to conversate with him because he'd just be on one, man, and I just wouldn't have time for it, man. I love him, you know what I'm saying? Like he would just come in my room, man, and just talk about man. I remember one time we was in the studio, man. He had a couple girls, and then one of his girls did something foul, man. We in the studio. I'm trying to make a beat. He got the little broad sitting in the corner holding big ass cans of baked beans. You know what I'm saying? Struggling like a motherfucker, man. I'm over there looking at the side of my. I'm like, oh, I can't work like this, man.
So he had her she that was her punishment. She had to hold up the baked beans.
Yeah, you know how you make a child hold a book.
Yeah,
we didn't have no book, so he made the engineer go buy some baked beans, the big ass cans of baked beans.
Man,
but you know what? I was surprised when Sugar Free had got married.
Everybody was. Everybody.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah, that shit shocked everybody.
I think LA, man, had like 2 early phases as far as hip hop, right? Like the Ice-T, NWA, Lenchmob, you know, that era. And then here come the Death Row, Pac, Snoop, and all them, right? And then Pac get killed. Was it fun making music during that time, man? Was the tension heightened in LA doing the Death Row shit, man, with all the different factions and people getting killed and all the stories and shit?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was a crazy time, man, because really, truthfully, Suge and them really was the first ones to bring the hood shit to the music shit, man. Like for real. You know, you were going to the studio with them, man. They slap boxing and shit. And, you know what I'm saying? Is you know, people got them things on them. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was a lot, man. But yeah, you know, it was a lot. But I saw an interview with my bro Corrupt, and Corrupt said the same thing. Like, man, you got to be, you know, you have to be cold to deal with them cats. You had to constantly stay in that mind state, but still be able to get on that mic and do what you do. So it was crazy. That was a crazy time, man.
The Hip Hop School, past and present podcast.